Om Shanti. Pitashri Prajapita Brahma Baba's Life History, Part 33. Title: The Godly World University. Moving the institution from Karachi to Mount Abu was no small matter. How was the new location decided upon? There is an interesting story here, offered by the university's first administrative head, B.K. Manmohini ji, known affectionately as Didi. I had very wealthy relatives in India. They wanted me to leave Pakistan, and Baba also wanted me to go and serve India. So, when I received an aeroplane ticket and an invitation from my relatives, I flew to Bombay with some other sisters. My relatives met us at the airport with garlands of flowers for us. But Brahma Baba had told us not to accept any worship, and garlands are offered only to completely pure gods and goddesses. While we were certainly making efforts to attain such purity, we had not yet done so. Thus, we refused the garlands, explaining Brahma Baba's counsel to them. We were careful to follow all of Brahma Baba's advice and commands while on this mission. At last, we reached their home. We were careful to follow all of Brahma Baba's advice and commands while on this mission. At last, we reached their home. They had prepared 2 nice rooms for us. In addition, they had kept another room free where we could meet with people who wanted to study the knowledge and learn the art of meditation. That very day, people began coming for that purpose. The same people who had years ago battered our bodies and assaulted our minds with abuse, and who had tried in every way to stop us from going to Om Mandali, those very people were now anxious to hear the knowledge because they were impressed by our lives. We were happy especially to teach our relatives, for Baba had always said that charity begins at home. A Brahma Kumari is one who can uplift both her father's family and her husband's family. We were pleased, therefore, that our relatives were following God's counsel. We stayed there for 2 months, constantly occupied with serving. Often, our relatives offered to take us sightseeing in Bombay, but we declined. The present world simply had no taste for us. We'll take our outings in paradise, we told them. There, we will live in palaces of gold and silver. We will fly in wonderful airplanes, powered by atomic energy and steered by the power of thought. All the people will be happy there, so it will be a joy to meet each soul. Here, it is a hell. Why do we wish to see the sights of such a cruel continent? This India of Kalyug, which is Iron Age. As a poet had written, India has lost her faith. Her worship-worthy deities are worshippers today. Her ancient purity seems but a dream. For today, we're all beggars. Sensual pleasures have dragged us down, subjected us to death. Bodily pride, the serpent's illusion. One bite of poison, and the mind was destroyed. Now, some say all are God, and some say there is no God. You hear as many stories as there are mouths to speak, but no one knows a thing. No one knew a thing, Didi continued, until Shiv Baba gave us new eyes. Now we know of the heavenly world. So, what is there to desire in this illusory Bombay? They soon gave up attempting to persuade Didi and the others to indulge in sightseeing. The sisters' next test concerned food. Their host used to bring a variety of gourmet dishes for them at every meal. But instead of giving in to such temptations, they each made 2 rotis, that is flatbreads, with their own hands and ate them with plain vegetables. After dinner, Didi reports, we sang a song of God. So, we set a good example for the people we were staying with. They saw that none of their valued positions or pleasures attracted us. Our renunciation awed them somewhat. They did not understand that we experienced joys they could not even dream of it. They wanted us to stay on with them but eventually be prepared to return to Karachi. It was time to go. Now that we had given our simple message, someone stated it well in the song. O bright soul, remember Father Shiva. Take the birthright that is yours. The present time is the confluence age, the meeting of the children with God. Shiva has come again to this world, and through the lotus mouth of Brahma, he sings once more the song of truth. Soon we shall witness the end of the world. The terrible day waits with gaping jaws. It is a final moment for everyone. So, Baba is teaching us all. The Shiv Shakti Pandav army is blowing the heavenly bugle. With the leadership of God himself, war has once more been declared. Death to weakness, death to vice, death to death itself. Evil shall be destroyed, and the pure world brought to life. We returned to Baba, having established very good relationships with many people in Bombay. Some time afterwards, our relatives sent a letter inviting us, at their expense, to move our whole community back to India. Brahma Baba sent a telegram back. Invitation can be accepted only from those who have the desire to hear the knowledge and who wish to conduct themselves according to God's rules. They accepted. They requested us to relocate wherever we wanted. So another sister, B.K. Leelavati ji, and I went to inspect various buildings in Pune and Ahmedabad. But we could not find a place where 250 to 300 people could stay together well. A number of important people helped us in this search and we made many friends for the university. One guru, Siddhananda ji, helped us greatly and later came to visit us when we were established on Mount Abu. On taking his farewell, he said, I always believed that if women and men stayed together, they could never remain pure. This is the first time in my life that I experience it to be possible. For as many days as I have lived here, not for a single day was I conscious of woman and man. That it was always the soul which I saw, and always souls in great spiritual consciousness. Even after staying with karma sannyasins, the vision of my mind's eyes was never so pure. At last, our search brought us to Mount Abu. Some of our relatives were with us. While trying to find a house with Sister Rukminiji, I happened across the vacant residence of a king and liked it. The place was called Bridge Koti. From a worldly point of view, it was not very beautiful, but as soon as I saw it, I remembered some of Baba's words, which drew me to the conclusion that this was the right location for us. Years before, Baba had said, Children, at the end, you Brahman children will be going to a mountain and doing penance there, and you will be staying at the residence of kings. Baba's words came strongly to mind until I was convinced that this Mount Abu is the mountain he referred to, and this residence our destined home. At the end, Baba had said, while meditating on a mountain, you will leave the body. I hurried to Ahmedabad and made a telephone call to Brahma Baba in Karachi and asked for his advice about Bridge Koti. Baba gave permission immediately to acquire the place, as if it had been pre-planned in his mind to occupy that place, and that he only gave us the opportunity to find the house on our own because he trusted our yoga power and wished us to be able to serve. We were extremely happy. Everything happens according to the drama. Brahma Baba sent a very able brother, Vishwakishore, to Mount Abu to acquire Brijkoti. Vishwakishore, a name Baba gave him, meaning world prince, was one of the most famous jewelers of Calcutta before he came into the knowledge. He was Brahma Baba's nephew, from whom Baba had immense love and respect. He had also educated him thoroughly in the jewelry business. When the Supreme Being took over Baba's life and he quit his occupation, Vishwakishore had wanted to renounce his worldly calling also. I shall follow Baba, he decided. But when he spoke to Brahma Baba about this wish, he was told to wait, to keep on working. At the proper time, you will be advised to surrender completely to God. Vishwakishore was a man who had the secret of staying happy under all conditions. Whatever Brahma Baba suggested, he was ready to do. Some years later, he was inspired to offer himself to the yajna. It was an inspiration from within, not influenced by Brahma Baba. Since then, he and his whole family have devoted themselves entirely to the university. Brother Vishwakishore was experienced, thoughtful, decisive, faithful, and honest. He successfully negotiated for the house and grounds. Om Shanti.